Many of you know Denis Villeneuve today as the mastermind behind sci-fi films that stun with their elaborate setups and provoke continuous reflection. His stories are realms of meticulously crafted worlds shrouded in a brooding, contemplative atmosphere, a place where action is equally likely to be accompanied by moments of tranquil beauty or sudden bursts of violence. This French-Canadian director stormed into the sci-fi genre, bringing a unique rhythm to his movies and earning the trust of major studios with his commercial successes. But how exactly did Denis Villeneuve revolutionize the approach to sci-fi? And why, despite the visual differences between his new and old works, do they share more in common than it might seem at first glance? In this video, we dive deep into the director's creativity, exploring his storytelling approach, the complexity and ambiguity of his narratives, and the significant impact he's had on the world of modern sci-fi cinema. In just 8 years, Denis Villeneuve released 7 films, each following a clear trajectory of escalating budgets and scales. His feature film, Polytechnique, in 2008 had a budget 27 times smaller than his sci-fi adaptation Dune. What makes Polytechnique stand out is its basis on real events, jolting the viewers with a tale where the mundane routine of student life is shattered by sudden, deafening gunfire in a crowded campus. Even back then, Villeneuve understood that for a film to resonate, it's not about expensive sets, but a well-thought-out story that tackles societal issues and speaks on complex themes. His Polytechnique delves into the motives of a man who committed a terrorist act in an educational institution driven by hatred towards society. Villeneuve didn't immediately gravitate towards making such unsettling and realistic cinema. Earlier, he was finding his style through personal projects, favoring his own scripts. But paradoxically, it was these original scripts that held him back from fully emerging and aligning with a universal narrative style. His romantic comedy, 32nd of August on Earth, is so distinct from his other films that you'd recognize the Canadian director's touch only in the credits. Only the most devoted Villeneuve fans might spot similarities with his other works, like how the director creates emotional contrasts. For instance, a light scene with upbeat music can abruptly shift to a grim episode. In his second film, Maelstrom, the director maintains a cool color palette, painting the interiors of stuffy European apartments and the landscapes of a coastal town, enhancing the sense of the protagonist's connection with water. This distinctly sets the film apart from his previous work, especially when we see a bloodied, eerie fish that narrates the story. Here again, we find unexpected shifts in mood across different scenes, but also feel this contrast between the visuals and music, where, say, a cheerful track plays right after an abortion scene. In his first couple of full-length features, Denis Villeneuve gives us just a glimpse into the depths of his directorial prowess, yet doesn't fully lay bare its depths. These films are teeming with a massive creative potential, ideas strewn throughout their stories. But in his quest to explore each one, he realizes that writing and directing his own screenplays limits his full expression. It was with Polytechnique that Villeneuve found his stride, not by sticking to his scripts, but by teaming up with other writers. This shift showed both him and his audience that his visionary flair made it easier to elevate an existing screenplay into something more profound. Polytechnique impresses with its stark, aesthetically clean visual style, a signature approach he would carry into his other works. Villeneuve nails it with fluid camera movements and a contrasting interplay of light and shadow, crafting an air of suspense and anxiety. His films are minimalist, yet at the same time brutally intense. It's this very aspect that resonates with his more renowned films like Arrival, Blade Runner 2049, and Dune. Polytechnique helped Villeneuve carve out a distinct voice in cinema and focus on themes he's drawn to time and again. The nature of aggression, the human aftermath of violence, bewilderment in the face of brutality, and moral quandaries. These themes are woven into On Sundays, where a character named Noelle finds herself in the midst of warring religious factions. Sicario, a gritty thriller where Kate, intent on bringing justice, grapples with the amoral tactics of US military operations against drug cartels. And Prisoners, a psychological drama where a father's quest for his kidnapped daughter leads him to morally disintegrate under his own actions. Tragedy is Denis Villeneuve's canvas for unraveling complex thoughts. It's the bedrock of his storytelling, subtly seeping into each scene of his films. Right from the start, Villeneuve has been fascinated by the world's chaos and its aftermath. His characters navigate through loss and self-destruction. This trait is emblematic of Villeneuve's filmmaking, but beyond tragedies, his movies are wrapped in enthralling mysteries.
I keep dreaming about being lost in a maze.
He likes to ration out information, doling out key moments slowly, kindling the viewer's curiosity and drawing them deeper into his narratives.
Parfois, il vaut mieux peut-être ne pas tout savoir.
On Sundays is not just a tense family historical drama. It's a multi-layered mystery where brutality escalates with every unveiled secret. In Sicario, Kate, as a part of a special unit, discovers through her investigation that the police can become as ruthless as the enemy that they're fighting. And Prisoners showcases two different responses to the kidnapping of young girls, a detective struggling to keep emotions from clouding his logic, and a grief-stricken father who, blinded by sorrow and pain, decides to respond to violence with violence. Denis Villeneuve places his characters in enigmas, where the answers aren't always ones you'd want to know. But for him, it's not the outcome of the mystery that's crucial, but rather the process of unraveling it. Under its influence, Villeneuve's characters are forced to expose their instincts, undergo psychological changes, revealing themselves in extreme and morally challenging circumstances. Each riddle and its subsequent unraveling propels the characters deeper in their search for answers. We, as viewers, find ourselves piecing together parts of this puzzle, deciphering intricate secrets alongside the characters, arriving at our conclusions. The director emphasizes this by symbolically depicting cities as vast labyrinths where one can easily get lost. He hints to his characters that if they're not careful, they'll inevitably lose their way. Consciously adhering to his vision, now that we have a grasp of the director's style and his early works, let's look at his first sci-fi film. The 2016 sci-fi film Arrival is in many ways reminiscent of Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's no secret that the Canadian director is a big fan of one of the most influential filmmakers. Villeneuve particularly admires his visual storytelling. He lays down many mysteries that encourage the viewer to constantly seek answers. In Arrival, based on Ted Chiang's novella Story of Your Life, Villeneuve subtly conveys that visual language is more important to him than anything spoken in dialogue. Typically, alien spacecrafts in films are depicted as flying saucers, but in Arrival, they're massive metallic semi-ellipses. These ships are portrayed as something foreign and mysterious, with intriguing geometric shapes and unusual movements. Their design aims to create a sense of unseen technologies and possibilities, aligning with the film's overall concept of humanity's encounter with a highly advanced extraterrestrial civilization. A team, including linguist Louise Banks, is sent to negotiate with the aliens. Her primary goal is to decipher the alien language and determine why they have come to our planet. Almost the entire film is devoted to sessions with the strangers, during which scientists desperately try to understand their language, way of thinking, and perception of reality. Intermittently, we see scenes from the life of the main character and her terminally ill daughter. Her personal tragedy and the alien invasion are closely intertwined. As she communicates with the aliens, the protagonist delves into her memories, which become the key to understanding the true mission of the visitors, but more so, to unravel her own personal tragedy and push for a re-evaluation of many things. But for her, this is not easy, not just because of the challenge of translating an unknown language, but also due to external circumstances. The problem is that not all countries are willing to patiently figure out the intentions of the visitors. Many of them are more aggressively inclined. In her journey of discovery, Louise finds herself squeezed between hostile sides, humans and aliens. Just as in Sicario, Kate finds herself in the center of conflict between the military and drug cartels, and in Encendays, Noelle witnesses confrontations between religious factions. Denis Villeneuve's leap into a new genre enabled him to weave even deeper stories. Leveraging the vast possibilities of science fiction, stepping onto this new ground, he preserved his trademark storytelling elements. The main character's personal tragedy and the newfound uncertainty for all humanity mirror elements from Villeneuve's earlier works. He elevates his visual storytelling, astounding us with the scope of his imagination, supported by mesmerizing landscapes, sleek ship designs, and exquisite sound design. It's also noteworthy that Denis Villeneuve is meticulous about scientific authenticity. Throughout the creation of the film, he worked closely with linguist Jessica Cotes. She assisted in developing the alien writing system and refining various aspects of linguistic communication. Accurately depicting the aliens' non-linear perceptions of spacetime was also essential. For this, Villeneuve brainstormed with physicists and cognitive science experts to create a unique atmosphere and visualize these concepts. In his first sci-fi movie, Villeneuve signals to the audience not to expect a traditional action-packed spectacle. Instead, he offers introspection, inviting us to delve into the protagonist's memories and join her in decoding the sound and images broadcasted by the aliens.
Curious, are you dreaming in their language?
A crucial aspect is the aliens' unique, non-linear approach to time. Villeneuve is no stranger to non-linear narratives. Polytechnique and Incendies also use non-linear storytelling, employing flashbacks to heighten the drama. In Arrival, he hones this technique to convey the film's intricate interplay with time, where mysteries are concealed not in places, but within a stream of often painful memories for the characters. This non-linear approach also travels to Villeneuve's next sci-fi endeavor, Blade Runner 2049. In this film, he uses non-linearity to illustrate the elusive grip of the character K over his memories. The director adeptly juggles the chronology of events and poignant shifts between timelines, evoking a feeling of uncertainty and unpredictability. Villeneuve has expressed his admiration for Philip K. Dick's novel and Ridley Scott's original Blade Runner, both steeped in themes of paranoia. The crux of the film lies in the indistinguishability of replicants from humans, constantly casting doubt on who is who, leading to internal questioning. Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049 thrives on striking, unforgettable imagery and surreal elements. It prompts deep philosophical and moral reflections, challenging viewers to contemplate the nature of humanity, the distinctions between artificial and biological beings, and the profound question of whether a machine can possess a soul. This theme is brilliantly portrayed in the main character's journey. The protagonist grapples with loneliness and despair, emotions that become his constant companions in the pursuit of truth, enveloping him in an aura of profound melancholy and sorrow.
You look lonely. I can fix that.
In Arrival, Denis Villeneuve focused the sci-fi elements on alien spacecraft while keeping the setting on familiar Earth. But in Blade Runner 2049, he faced a more daunting task, building a new world that would serve as a visual storyteller. Villeneuve aimed for each frame to be expressive, realistic, and emotionally resonant with the story. The architecture of cityscapes, a mix of towering skyscrapers and dilapidated buildings, conjures a sense of commitment to technological progress, but also the emptiness and despair of this world. The film continuously blurs the line between humans and machines, questioning what makes us human and how we differ from our technological counterparts. The gloomy landscapes create an immersive cyber-aesthetic atmosphere, subtly highlighting the main character's inner struggles and his quest to find his place in the world. A key innovation in Villeneuve's approach is his ability to blend different genres in his films. For instance, in Blade Runner 2049, he transforms a sci-fi story into a philosophical detective tale, encouraging viewers to ponder deep moral and ethical questions. Music is another crucial element in Denis Villeneuve's films. It serves not just as a backdrop, but as a character in its own right. In Arrival, the music composed by Johan Johansson plays a significant role in conveying the film's main theme of communication with extraterrestrial beings. In Blade Runner 2049, the soundtrack by Hans Zimmer and Benjamin Wallfisch creates the atmosphere of a cyberpunk future world. Hans Zimmer's score in Dune emphasizes the danger and grandeur of the desert world of Arrakis. The melodies and sound reflect the inner world of the main character, Paul Atreides, and his connection to the mystical forces of the Sand Planet. Dune is, to date, the latest film in Denis Villeneuve's career. Here, the Canadian director showcases his mastery to the fullest. The long landscape shots, extensively used in Arrival and Blade Runner 2049, achieve an extraordinary level of refinement in Dune. The serene landscapes of Planet Caladan are soothing, while the dark, industrial domain of the Harkonnens instills awe. Villeneuve constantly emphasizes how small even a person of stature is compared to the rest of the world. Villeneuve portrays the journey of the main character, Paul Atreides, through his immersion in politics and the tragedy that befalls his family. But for the story, it's not so much the external circumstances that matter as the internal feelings of the hero, who is reluctantly burdened with immense responsibility and legacy, leaving him in shock.
Mood. What's mood to do with it? You fight when the necessity arises, no matter the mood.
To underscore the lack of choice in the hero's destiny, the film introduces a power called the Voice, illustrating how difficult it is to act against our will. In every Denis Villeneuve character, there's something they can't change. Just as Kay in Blade Runner 2049 can't alter his nature, so too Paul Atreides in Dune can't escape his destined path. According to the prophecy, he's the chosen savior, destined to lead his people to a brighter future. But is this truly his destiny, or merely a contrived myth, a deceptive path? Once more, Villeneuve leaves his characters and the audience without clear answers, at least in the first installment, since he plans to turn Dune into a trilogy. It's particularly intriguing as Villeneuve has never ventured into sequels of his films before. Many have attempted to adapt Dune, including Alejandro Jodorowsky, David Lynch, and John Harrison, each facing their own challenges. However, Villeneuve surpassed these predecessors, shooting the film unlike Jodorowsky and unlike Lynch, doing so on his own terms without the fear of his work being re-edited beyond recognition. This highlights the Canadian director's influence, who now can afford to create authorial films on a colossal scale, featuring star-studded casts and influential composers. Denis Villeneuve's movies are a testament to how characters initially leading ordinary lives find themselves thrown into harrowing events that utterly transform them. Often these changes come in the form of a terrifying and unpredictable event that disrupts their peace and compels them to act and think differently. These actions have far-reaching impacts on their judgments, values, and self-identity. It's in these moments of fear and transformation that Villeneuve demonstrates the strength of his characters. They're forced to show courage and endurance, facing the unknown and fighting for their beliefs. Their old lives end, and they must adapt to a new reality. Here is a director who initially stuck to a specific narrative style. Denis Villeneuve has redefined the sci-fi genre, using it as a vehicle to tell rich, profound stories. A key characteristic of his sci-fi films is their aesthetic. His works are marked by incredibly atmospheric scenes that often evoke feelings of anxiety and uncertainty, yet at the same time, they impress with their grandeur. Entering the realm of sci-fi wasn't just a set change for him. Villeneuve crafts entire worlds for his characters, immersing them in unique landscapes and atmospheres that are not only visually striking, but also crucial to the narrative and the evolution of his characters. In this chaos, they might find answers to all their questions, or get lost in it forever.